On March 18, 2011, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had multiple tumors called liposarcomas growing in my upper left abdomen. Surgery was scheduled for April 18th at 1 p.m., and this is my hero's journey through my time at the hospital. What is more symbolic of innocence than a child? My 15-month-old daughter symbolized this for me during my journey as she continued to be herself, not really understanding what was going on. Pearson states that the innocence is the part of us that trusts life, ourselves, and other people. This was put to the test for me in those 8 days in the hospital. For many days I had to trust other people to care for me and provide me with what I needed to survive and recover. I endured an orphan-like moment in its literal term when I was taken from my family to the pre-op area. Alone in my thoughts and away from the distracting elements my family gave to me, I remembered the many, many surgeries I had gone through as a young child and early teen. Those surgeries were none like the one I was about to go through. I felt alone, scared, and it took every ounce of me not to run through those doors back to my family. Shortly after I was prepped, I was able to have visitors, and a renewed strength came over me. Pearson says the warrior will be called upon to face many dragons in search of treasure. My treasure was being with my family, my dragon was cancer. Even today I await the pathology of the entire tumor to find out if we fully won our battle. I believe we have, and the surgeon was able to get the entire tumor, but there is still an ounce of doubt hanging over my head. Another dragon, perhaps? I will win, we will win. My journey was filled with caregivers. The nurses' aides, and everyone in my family were there for me during my recovery. They gave without question, they encouraged and pushed me when I needed it. My grail or mountain to climb was simply getting out of bed and into a chair. Then it was walking, and then it was being able to eat solid foods, and finally it was to go home. Every day I was in the hospital, the secret was alive and well within me. I had daily goals and things to work towards. This photo symbolized the destroyer in me. It was the order to have a CT done stat after a questionable mass was found in my abdomen. Pearson says the destroyer may be precipitated by a sense of powerlessness, the discovery that everything you tried to build in life has come to nothing. It was shocking to say the least that Friday evening to hear from my doctor that I had cancer. In a split second, everything I knew was taken and flipped upside down. I began to realize that everything could be taken away from me. To say it was humbling would be an understatement. Pearson said that love is the spiritual food of the soul. I can say that I do not know that I would have been able to endure this process with the love of my wife, family, and friends. It was overwhelming how many positive thoughts were sent my way leading up to the surgery and the outpouring of visits to me in the hospital. Even since being home, I have had family and friends bending over backwards to help me and my family. From watching our daughter to bringing us lunches and dinners or to simply coming to visit, there is no lack of love in this journey. Pearson says when the Creator is active in our lives that we are conscious of a sense of destiny and a responsibility to develop a vision for our lives. I never envisioned a life for me as a cancer patient and eventual cancer survivor. I had to get my head around this now fact as a part of my life and refocus my energy of fighting this disease and living. I had a newfound responsibility in my life. I had a wife and a 15-month-old daughter who needed me, and I was not going to let cancer take them away from me. I created a new life in my mind as a cancer survivor. The ruler maintains life but does not create it. I was not going to maintain that leaving the cancerous tumor in my body be acceptable in my life. I was going to seek out every possible option to have it removed and to ensure that I live a long and fulfilling life. I surrounded myself with good doctors and loving family and friends to create a force to destroy the cancer. The magician archetype for me showed itself as the healer. My body had endured 5+ hours of surgery to remove a 5 to 8 pound tumor from my abdomen. Did I need some healing? Mentally I was exhausted and physically I could barely move. My overwhelming feelings of wanting to be home with my family and the use of morphine helped to overcome my pain and push me to recover enough to be able to go home. After surgery, my doctors ran a full pathology of the entire tumor to find out exactly what kind and type of cancer was growing inside of me. The tumor had characteristics that were inconsistent with the type of cancer they originally thought it was. So to ensure that the absolute most accurate account of this tumor could be found, the tumor was sent to BYU for further pathology testing. This is very important in that any future treatment is predicated on the type of cancer it is. The Fool in my journey brought a comedic perspective, and near the end of my stay my coworkers paid me a visit and brought me some fun balloons, a giant card signed by everyone I worked with, and an 8x10 picture of me in funny situations at work. We also packed our iPad for the trip to the hospital, and we were able to watch my favorite TV show, The Office. At times and in those moments, I was able to forget, even if for a few seconds, that I was laid up in a hospital bed fighting cancer.